Hello everyone, I bring to you today a match from the Glenstorm Cup 3, which was, it is a high funds tournament on the site. This was a round 1 matchup, and our players are going to be DaysOfPlague, a very top player around the 1600s. I've already had a few videos with him, and we have PAchen. I've never had this player on a video yet. But yeah, this was the first round of that tournament. High funds, wacky map. We can go over the CO selections from both players because it'll make sense in a sec. But yeah, map is called Moonshot. I believe it was made by Walker. And there was this whole funny thing that it was going to be put in round 1, but he didn't want it to be another whole Falcon Fields thing again, so for some reason he moved it over to Havetts account, and now everyone thinks it's Havetts map, but it's not Havetts, it's Walker's. Anyways, it's just a very fun or a funny anecdote if you wanted to hear that. But yeah, this is actually Walker's map, although it probably says that it's Havetts. It is high funds, it is mixed the base, and so you're gonna have your 2 base over here in the middle for blue, 2 base in purple for purple over here, and then you're gonna have a lone base over here with a port, and then another lone base over here if you're blue. This one is actually lone. It doesn't have an airport or a port or anything. And you'll notice that there's a few pipe seams over here, and then there's all these like tiny, really thin, awkward shoal bridges from the 2 base, right? You're blocked off from here by these 2 pipe seams, so the 2 base is going to be initially forced to go upwards, right? This direction or this direction, trying to put pressure maybe over here in the comm tower area, more towards like this lone base, as this other base is also trying to go that way. So you're going to be trying to overrun this base perhaps, and you're going to be defending from the space if you're purple. You also have this airport over here, which is pre-owned, but there's an enemy T-copter on it, so you can't build anything. So it's gonna force you to make like an anti-air, and as soon as you make the anti-air, then the T-copter can run away, and then you can use the T-copter to I don't know, boost some infantry, maybe ship them from over here to over here. I don't know, wild map. And then if you open the pipe seams, you need to, if you break one of them, then you can send both bases towards this direction, and then you need to break the other one to go towards this direction, towards the middle, to possibly go and help out your base if it hasn't fallen yet, right? So a lot of timings things here, and builds, and when to break the seams and all that stuff. And that brings me to the point of the COs. And maybe the reason why DaysOfPlague picked GRIMM, because usually GRIMM is really bad at pretty much everything. It is very hard to find a map where he could do anything better than another CO, except for pipe seams. There's one thing that his 30% extra firepower does for him, where less defense doesn't matter, and that is breaking pipe seams, because artilleries, usually with base damage, they will take 3 turns to break a pipe seam. You need 130 firepower, so an extra 30 to break the pipe seam in just 2 turns. So GRIMM will be able to make with a single artillery break a pipe seam in 2 turns, make the other one, so that's 2 turns saved up pretty much. Maybe make double RD, boom boom, break it in 1 turn. And Adder will not be able. He's gonna need 3 turns to break that. Even with the comm tower that's 110, you need 30% extra. So only GRIMM can do that. Kindle on cities and Lash on cities or silos. That's with no comm towers, right? So a little bit more context on the players. Well, yeah, DaysOfPlague is a top player, as I'm changing the colors here. And PAchen, it looks like he's around 1200, but kind of stopped there. But it's kind of like his arc goes up and then he stopped playing. So, you know, you never truly know what the actual skill level of a person is until they kind of plateau in their elo. So yeah, but this was a very fun match. I was following it, so I can't wait to show it to you. So let's get right into it. So as Days of Plague is gonna start capping here the 2 base, you're gonna notice it's a pretty like delayed 2 base, so that's gonna give some time for the lone bases to have a little bit of a head start, as Days of Plague is gonna skip both of these immediate captures to possibly rush this over here. I don't know if maybe you want to rush the port. It's gonna be interesting to see when they decide to make, well, now we're seeing anti-air to free up the airport, because air units are gonna go crazy here as it's very hard to cross over. You can also use air units to go and help out your 1 base, right? That's like the only other thing you can use to save your 1 base other than breaking through this, but this is very predictable, it requires time. So yeah, that's like an easy, how do you say, unlocking of the airport is just making an anti-air, sending it straight, boom, now you're gonna have that airport. So I guess you're just gonna leave the Teacopter there until the last minute. They're both gonna open with anti-air and a tank here on the side. So this base is gonna be looking to put some pressure over here towards the middle, the middle lone base. Both of them actually skipping that priority to rush this city right here. And yeah, that anti-air is gonna be pointing at the Teacopter, so that's gonna be bye-bye. Teacopter is just gonna run away through the water, probably, maybe over here. Actually gonna skip the city and just gonna go for the port. I guess because it was gonna get shot, but I'm not sure. I think. Oh, okay, so it makes sense because you can't really cross over here, right? So you either rush this port really quickly, or this base might get it eventually. This infantry could cross over and then get the port, and that's a pretty important port. In high funds, it's pretty easy to make a battleship or a carrier, and so you don't want, as orange here, this to be a purple battleship, a purple port that then makes a battleship and then it's pointing at both your bases. That's not good. Then you're pretty much never opening these pipe seams, and then you're just getting shot at over here every single turn. So yeah, it's a big deal. So yeah, both of them have now freed up their airports. They both moved off the Teacopters. We have this little tank chain coming through from Days of Plague. We're gonna have a copter made over here. These Teacopters, this one has to run away more because if not, it's just gonna get shot at by this copter. And we have a medium tank here by PAchen with Adder, as we have a recon over here as well. So interesting to see. I forgot to mention about the labs. We have 2 labs per player. This one is very not safe because orange can come and get it, and this one is very, very safe pretty much. But in an event that bases start flipping around, you know, that's when labs are gonna be important in a very more late game post base trade scenario. So PAchen gonna be moving this tank over here, gonna be pointing at this port infantry. There's a tank over here. This lone base definitely, you can already see how quickly it's getting outnumbered, right? So that's the reason why PAchen is making a medium tank here. There's no way that single tank buys are going to be able to compete against, like, you know, a tank chain over here, vehicle chain over here, plus an airport is just too much. So you need to tech up. I wouldn't be surprised if Days of Plague also techs up over here a medium tank, as he's going to go and KO this infantry. It's still in range of this medium tank. I'm not super sure why, but we'll see. Got these copters. These copters are not even in range of hitting that medium tank. I mean, that would have been really nice, right? Put the copter over here and then it could do 2, 4, 6. I guess then the medium tank could still hit from the planes and then the copter wouldn't reach, so it wouldn't matter that much. Gonna capture right in front of the medium tank and put this tank behind. So now this medium tank has to decide whether to attack the tank, the infantry, or stop this capture. So I was giving a little bit of a decision. And I think that's pretty interesting because it's like, do you want to interrupt the capture? It is pretty valuable, right? There's not that many infantry, not much of a response to this medium tank, not even a response coming. So so we'll see what PAchen decides to do. He's gonna go get a free hit over here, it seems like, with the tank. But yeah, they both got the ports passing the pipe seams by rushing that infantry. Let's see. T-Copter is going to be used to get a few boosties. This one is going to be able to reach the city now. And just being very cautious over here with the vehicles. This tank can reach if this shoal is cleared. I'm not sure if this infantry can clear this guy. We'll have to see. This is why I want to use the on-site replay viewer sometimes, because I can bring up the damage calculator. But I don't know, today I was a little bit in a rush, and I wasn't feeling like uploading the replay into the site and everything. And I just saw it here on this app, and I just wanted to cast it. So anyways, Plague is gonna not finish that capture. I'm gonna kill that infantry because there's no more infantries over here from PAchen. There's one over here only, which he can probably go and shoot at. It will be retaliated. I guess, yeah, that also. He breaks through and is able to hit with a tank there. It will get retaliated though. And there isn't another tank. So, but he's doing the... I guess this medium tank can't hit that tank, right? So now the question is this tank. Do you attack this tank or do you attack this anti-air? But all in all, I think it's very worth it for Plague to do this, even though you're losing a few vehicles, because that means that there's no more infantry for PAchen. There's no more captures that are gonna go through here. These copters can start coming down here, and then PAchen is gonna be forced into building either anti-airs or tanks. You know, like you need to counter one of the two, and you have multiple of them coming. So it's just a matter of time that eventually the one base is not going to be able to hold on against so many units of different types. Like you just can't counter them all. So he's kind of rushing that by sacrificing a few vehicles. And not going to go for anything fancy here. I'm not going to attack with a tank. Just sitting with one here in the city. Pretty much like from both of them. Like they've just gone for these two cities. Well, they've rushed the port. And then like that's it. That's how far the space can get here. PAchen actually going to get this port. And uncontested too. So... wow, yeah, so PAchen is going to get this port, which is going to mean that he'll be able to make battleships here. I mean, just one. But it'll be pointing at both bases, so that's pretty important here. And remember, GRIMM has less defense, so that's going to hurt a ton. Those battleships are going to wreck any of GRIMM's units. He's going to start moving out. Even got our first artillery now. First artillery of the match. And PAchen might be looking into trying to bust these pipe seams. Yeah, it looks just like that, pointing at both of them. So that's going to take a few turns. Maybe with some help of a copter hit or something, it can be taken down in 2 turns instead of 3. But yeah, like it's getting heated right now. And now DaysOfPlague is going to use the T-Copter here to block. Sort of as to... I think it's maybe to use the copter over here to hit at these guys. And then the anti-air can't reach because he has to take out the T-Copter. Ooh, look at that. Even gonna boost an infantry there. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna take that out. Actually gonna... okay. What is going on? Plague is so funny sometimes. I don't understand what he does sometimes. But yeah, it's just like completely letting these forces do whatever they want. And just gonna cage in this base. Gonna attack a little bit. Gonna get some charge, I guess. And I don't know. Like, I think these two might be able to take this T-Copter out because this is GRIMM. Yeah, but still, this anti-air will still be caged in here. So yeah, it is gonna be a turn that PAchen will not be able to build anything here. DaysOfPlague also came out here, just attacked, interrupted this capture, although it's gonna get attacked by these vehicles over here. Will he make like a medium tank perhaps? Or just a normal tank? No, just an anti-air, okay. So it's perhaps predicting that copter is gonna hit tank is gonna go hit anti-air, and so then you need another anti-air to go and hit that copter. But yeah, that board is gonna get flipped. And PAchen actually made a black boat here to stop Plague from getting that port. So now PAchen is gonna have both ports. Dangerous. It's gonna be very uneven then, because if PAchen is able to in a few turns get a battleship here, DaysOfPlague can't do the same thing. Then DaysOfPlague is gonna have, you know, one of these bases. Well, actually, I guess you're just gonna have infantry spamming from both bases, because if you make a vehicle and an infantry, battleship is gonna shoot at the vehicle. If you make double vehicle, I don't know, you pick and choose whichever you want to shoot at. But yeah, that's a huge deal. That battleship pointing at both bases is pretty big. So let's see if PAchen can maybe hold on here. He definitely has more units, right? More unit value. You got the medium tank anti-air than Plague, but it is this lone base. Plague can trap it. I think he can still keep trapping it. You got another copter coming over here, but we'll see. So it's gonna be a sort of a race to see who can trade each other's bases or hold yours. So yeah, PAchen's gonna go in, gonna severely injure that anti-air and make it so, using the same card that Plague used of the T-Copter. These T-Copters putting in some work in this match. It's gonna be a nice blocker over here, because then this anti-air is not gonna be able to easily get through this copter. I think even then you can't, right? Like, how do you take out this tank? You sacrifice this anti-air and then this tank somehow kills that tank, maybe with a GRIMM power. I don't know. But anyways, PAchen's gonna hit that pipe scene. First shot out. It's gonna need 2 more, or 1 and a B copter shot. And if PAchen can hold on here, maybe flip this, open up this, so then you can start bringing units and help out the base. That's gonna be huge. But yeah, this port actually got captured. Plague is not gonna use the tank over here. He's just gonna shoot at this recon. Gonna take out that T-Copter. He's gonna use Knuckle Duster for the extra firepower. Is it maybe to take out this medium tank? Let's see. He's also made that artillery probably to start shooting at these pipe seams. Gonna get another anti-air shot there. Gonna shoot at the medium tank. Boom. That takes 3 damage and attacks that tank. So using another copter now to block this one single tile choke point. But this means that the space is free now to move out. I don't think there's anything that can block this in. Yeah, so he can easily just move off, make something else. But he will be getting this city. That's the only thing. Tank is coming in. I think PAchen can probably make... I mean, you can make a medium tank. The thing is that you definitely need an anti-air. So this whole little engagement of anti-air is making it so these copters from Plague are going to be able to block this, even if PAchen decides to make, I don't know, Neo tank, Mega tank, even whatever he wants. Air units are really good at this, at base killing, because you can only make so many units to counter all of the ones that are coming. If you don't have anti-airs, then you can block and, you know, base block and everything with copters. And they're pretty cheap, especially here. This is high funds. So he's gonna take out a few of these units, gonna attack back at this infantry. The 3 HP anti-air, look at how much damage it did. Boom, these are at 4. That's those GRIMM anti-airs, they're good. They're really strong. And we might start to see the fighters arm race that is very well known in high funds. Once you start making fighters, it's like you gotta keep making them over and over and over, because whoever starts getting that first strike of fighters and has a fighter chain will win that engagement and then can have air superiority, and it is very strong. So, oof. Funny thing is that no one has the comm tower yet, so yeah, they're just fighting with their base damage. And PAchen decides to use Sidewinder. Wow. What does it give you though? Remember that the super doesn't give you extra firepower. We'll have to see. Tank 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's to clear that, and then Oh. Okay. Okay, so this infantry is somewhat blocking this area. Gonna start this capture. Gonna block that with that infantry. Okay, gonna take that out. I think maybe for this now, this infantry gets 5 move and can start capturing and block this anti along with that guy right there. So now this is a nice little block. Now this base is it's effectively blocked. Yeah, this anti cannot move off. It has to shoot at something. It'll probably shoot at maybe the copter. Oof, I don't know. I think I would shoot just at the anti. At this point, you know it's gonna go down. Or what you can do is you delete the anti and then you make, I don't know, a medium tank. I think that could be, especially now seeing that PAchen brought this copter down over here. Because if he would have brought it up here, then it's like, okay, maybe not a medium tank because 2 copters can start whittling down that medium tank. But this copter is now further away. It's actually 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Okay, yeah, so it's 3 turns away now. So I think delete and making a medium tank would be a really good option. He's gonna break through over here and he's gonna start working his way through this other pipe seam. Gonna use the medium tank to interrupt this infantry. Gonna move off the black boat from the port. Gonna make another one? No. Okay. Let's the port just be there. This could start the capture, but I guess PAchen does have this copter there ready to possibly interrupt the capture. And if Plague decides to block somehow with a copter, you can take it out with a fighter, something like that. And yeah, PAchen makes a medium tank over here. Plague is just gonna take out the anti-air, gonna finish these caps, gonna take out that medium tank over there, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna block this medium tank in. It's gonna take a while to take it out, especially with that extra defense. And Plague decides not to do the medium tank buy, he just decides to attack this infantry. Wow, okay. And I'm gonna start the capture over here. Gonna probably, I mean, it definitely forces this copter to go on. Like, there's nothing else that can really interrupt that capture. And I think you definitely want to do that. Surprised that PAchen hasn't gone for the battleship approach here, which would have been nice. Because now, Plague made a bomber, a preemptive bomber. Even though there's a fighter, he needed that fighter to counter this one, but now he can have this bomber to counter a battleship buy from over here. So even if it's made next turn, he can move it in and then start attacking or threatening. So, and it's a GRIMM bomber, so it's going to deal a lot of damage. So this is the battle of all the injured units, the little zombies against the full HP unit on the base. But I think this turn this will go down. We have 2 healthy tanks. Those are going to easily take that anti-air down. And start this lab capture. Only now I'm gonna start this com tower cap. So yeah, boom. Gonna join a few infantries to have 1 healthy one. And yeah, that base is gone. So Plague has essentially given up on that base. He could have just deleted and made it a medium tank, but I guess he thought it wasn't worth. Decided maybe to do this to make the bomber to then counter a possible battleship. So now we're moving on to a different stage of the map. And yeah, PAchen is going to send that copter in to interrupt that. I'm going to block this black boat and going to keep shooting at this pipe seam. It'll break next turn with another shot and a copter. And fighter going to come over here just out of range of that fighter. And also in range of the airport. So it's going to be locking. It's also going to make it really awkward for play with this bomber. Maybe it's going to force this bomber to be used down over here to take out this base possibly. And PAchen making a lander. Oof. The crazy thing is that we haven't seen GRIMM's only benefit that we talked about in the intro, right? Coming into play. Like, he hasn't... Well, now he's going to start shooting at that pipe seam with his 1 artillery, but Adder is just so much better than GRIMM. Usually he's like the biggest counter in tier 4. But it's just insane because the damage that GRIMM does with extra firepower, he gets done to himself with the lack of defense. So he gets no benefit. And Adder gets that +1 movement all the time. So he's able to like zone out GRIMM. Like for example, this fighter, Plague can never reach that fighter, right? But Adder next turn could very easily have the power ready and he can boom hit that fighter. So it's like with the Grimm, you always have to be like 1 tile, 2 tiles away from everything. So you can't do the same thing of like zoning out the other, and you're getting zoned out by the other one, by Adder. So it kind of pushes you into very awkward positions and you end up conceding a lot of space. So Plague is gonna bring another copter, start, keep on shooting at this medium tank. Eventually it will go down. Gonna move off the infantry and take out that copter with an anti-air. Gonna bring the bomber, it seems like, yeah, to go and finish off the space. Gonna make another fighter. They're both kind of chained up, so if this fighter decides to attack over here, the other one can come and finish that one off. And doesn't even use the artillery to shoot at this pipe seam. I don't know. I swear, I really don't understand. And Plague makes a cruiser. I mean, I guess it makes sense because this airport has this one single sea tile next to it. So you could use the cruiser to kind of come over and then somewhat lock this airport with that extra Grimm firepower. But it's also your Grimm, right? A copter's gonna wreck your cruiser. So kind of risky. But yeah, it's very hard to understand why Plague does something sometimes, and it makes it so much fun. PAchen decides to use power now, as he has the whole north, right? Like the whole northern hemisphere of this map is now controlled by PAchen. Just has to flip these 3 properties, get this one, and that's it. It's gonna be now a battle over here. I guess this land was also made so as to bring some of these units over here, right? He can bring this anti-air now with the power. He can load up onto that lander. Gonna finish off that pipe seam. Gonna get that shot out there. Bring the artillery right there. Gonna get a first strike over there. But yeah, gonna attempt to flip these. I'll probably load up the anti-air and the tank and try to bring them over here. So that's gonna be pretty annoying here for Plague. This anti-air could potentially reach the airport, like with a power, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So, but it's still, it was right in time for Plague though, because he was able to block this off, block these tiles. He does have this artillery that he can bring in as well, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem over here for Plague just for now. Will PAchen make a battleship? Maybe? No. Okay, he sends the black boat to go and repair there. Decides to make a bomber, possibly to contest this cruiser so it doesn't come out freely. So will Plague and PAchen also decides to make a cruiser. It's the cruiser meta in this map. Because yeah, he was like, wow, that's a really good idea. You can lock that airport with a cruiser. And while Plague decides to use the haymaker. This bomber does not reach that base, so these copters are probably gonna take it out. We'll see. Ooh, that's, yeah, 1 shot with that super extra firepower. Doesn't get the kill there, gonna get it there. Start there, start that port capture, and yeah, those copters are okay. They do take that medium tank out. So now that is done for PAchen over here. So now we're really down to the fight in the middle. They're both gonna fight right there in these really awkward spots and these thin strips of shoals and maybe these lander drops and stuff like that. And yeah, the only thing that you can do really to protect this cruiser from this bomber or these 2 copters, besides putting it on a reef, is to make a carrier. I guess you can still use the bomber and attack from this tile. So I'm not sure that was the correct play. I think maybe putting the cruiser somewhere over here, so that it's not, so that the bomber and the copters can't use the minimum range from the carrier. But I guess you also have the fighter. Ooh, but the fighter can attack this fighter and then you take out the cruiser. Ooh, that's not looking very good. I think, oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so this tile, it can be reached from the shoal, so he made an anti-air. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And we're gonna make a T-copter here. Just block here with these anti-airs. And just gonna have this artillery here, kind of deterring these vehicles from attacking. Regarding labs, it's all fine. You know, PAchen did get this one, like he was able to flip it, but Plague still has this one, and it will be a long time for PAchen to capture it. For now, as PAchen is gonna flip all of these properties. So yeah, now completely Northern Hemisphere is for PAchen. He does go for the bomber hit on that cruiser though, gives a ton of charge. He's gonna attack that fighter just enough for that side slip, and gonna take out that tank, gonna interrupt the port capture, and actually doesn't go for that fighter, goes for this one over here because it wasn't protected by the carrier. So probably makes another fighter here. Oh, fighter actually. Okay, just goes and takes out the T-copter, boom. Copters attacks, and gonna still go for those shots over there. Cruiser is now locking that airport outside of range of the bomber. Lander ready to load up some new vehicles. Probably this tank that's gonna get healed up. Yeah, there goes the other fighter because I guess this bomber is just gonna go down with this anti-air. But this is tricky because this carrier in one turn it'll be in this shoal, for example, and it can do 2, 4, 6, 8. So it'll be locking that airport. So now we have the double RD rocket. This looks like your campaign war room maps where it's like these one tile choke points, and it's just an RD party and rockets. But it's wild. And Plague hasn't even shot at these pipe scenes, not once. That's crazy. It's all about now the fight over here. Plague is trying to get this port, possibly just run over the PAchen's 2 base instead of doing anything over here. It's just hilarious. We're gonna take out that copter, boom. We're gonna trap the fighter, it seems like. Well, not trap, but kind of block it in. And yeah, bomber goes down, carrier is ready, it's locking down that airport. And I'm gonna block the path over here, although this fighter can take it out, but this carrier is covering it. There's no anti-air to take it out, no copters. Can't really free up this fighter. I guess you could use this fighter over here, but then you have to go all the way around. Tricky spot now for PAchen actually. Plague managing to kind of win in these like weird builds, but that the map is allowing, because like this cruiser thing, the carrier, now we got the battleship going. This battleship could, the fact that there's not going to be any more air units from PAchen at all, like there's no other airport, right? That means that the battleship can be freely made, and in 2 turns it'll be, you know, somewhere around here pointing at these 2 bases. He's like, you know what, if I can't get this port, I might get it eventually, but if I can't get it, I'll still win this area, this lake, and then eventually I can bring a battleship and start shooting at this. So Plague is really trying to run over the 2 base, which is crazy. You usually never do that. Like, it's very hard to overrun a 1 base, you know, altogether. Imagine 2 of them. But yeah, PAchen's gonna move the indirects away, make some room, probably make some anti-airs. Can't really build any more air units now. And you have nothing to take out this carrier. There's no ports here by PAchen to make, I don't know, a sub or a battleship or anything. No copters, no bombers. Like, even just having copters would be good, being added, because you can use that side slip to move through the carrier's minimum range and then start attacking it. PAchen's gonna make a battleship over here, trying to mimic also Plague's build over here. In 2 turns, gonna be logging down this. Also using this black boat to block off these reinforcements so they can't move over here anymore. And just a mess. This is a mess. What is going on here? Plague's gonna use the anti to injure that fighter, and just gonna, okay, take that out. I'm just gonna take capturing there. Gonna use these copters. Gonna take that artillery and finally gets that port. Oof, that means that there's gonna be double battleship. I'm still surprised that PAchen hasn't made a battleship here, but I think the only reason is because he he's been forced to build stuff elsewhere. And also perhaps not much value to get out of this if the only thing that Plague is making over here is just infantry, and he's just using these bases to reinforce, plus the port, plus the airport. It's more so the threat of it. But yeah, I don't know, very interesting. Now we're gonna have another artillery, which is possibly gonna be used to, you know, put over here and take out these pipe seams, or take this blackboard out. Maybe both. Gonna start capturing over here. Gonna make another battleship. I think the battleship. I think this artillery movement over here. Yeah, it is to lock this city, but also probably to somewhat lock down the space of the battleship. So like, the battleship would have loved to go on this tile right here, 2, 4, 6, and kind of cover both. But now it can't, or else it's gonna get shot by an artillery, which would be very funny. But it's gonna have to be content with just going over here and then shooting at one base. So then it's gonna let PAchen make more. That's why Plague is gonna need a second battleship. Boom, PAchen's gonna get a shot there. Gonna actually take that infantry out. And I'm gonna free that and take that copter out, and okay, kills that, takes another one out, takes that out, even just gonna put that medium tank there, and I think, yeah, it can easily still be taken out with these 2 artilleries and a medium tank, so they can still build something here. But you still have this rocket pointing at that port. It'll probably deal a good amount of damage to a battleship. So PAchen is like feeling the pressure of these ports now, these battleships. But he's trying to do the same thing over here. We have this bomber now that is like threatening the space over here for PAchen's battleship that's trying to go and point at the double base, and the super panic button buys here. Mega tank, a neo tank. I bet he would have made another mega. I guess he could have. He could have done a double mega tank, but no, mega tank, neo tank, as in like, you're not gonna take my base. Even this artillery is already locking that base. I hadn't even realized. Cruiser is also locking that airport, but you're gonna need some more. But Plague doesn't have any more fighters, and there's these 2 fighters by PAchen, so oof, what's going on? I haven't even talked about unit value or income, because it doesn't really matter at this point. It's more about this whole puzzle tactics over here. Can Plague take out the double base here by PAchen? Can PAchen hold on and then possibly take out Plagues? You know, those are the 2 win cons. I think they're both trying to run and take over each other's 2 base, because that'll be the victory for them. Plague is just gonna 2-hit KO that with their arty and medium tank. Gonna break through there. Anti-air against anti-air. Boom, 4-8, and gets enough charge. No, just uses the normal power. Okay, one-shots that tank instead of shooting that mega tank. But wow, one-shots that black bolt right there. And which enables this anti to come in and take out that fighter. Copter's gonna come in and take out that, well, try to take out that cruiser. I wonder if that was a possible role. That would have been interesting, because then the bomber can go in and boom and take out the battleship. But yeah, now this battleship, again, it's right out of range of this artillery, still in range of this base. So now you got arty and battleship pointing at this base. It's also pointing at the artillery, obviously, so this artillery is gonna have to move off. But maybe you leave it there, right? Maybe as PAchen you leave it there just so this battleship has to spend an extra turn here, so you can build more units on, or more vehicles on this one particular base. And PAchen, and Plague makes a lander here. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's so many shoals. You could load these artilleries or medium tank over here. Imagine you do like, bring it here. You do medium tank, artillery. Something like that. That would be really funny. We're gonna have a fighter. It's gonna be covered against this fighter. And yeah, that is it. Really respecting this fighter from PAchen. He does have the super ready, so he can use that +2 movement if needed. And I got arty, another arty, and another arty, the quadruple arty. Well, I guess this one wasn't built this turn. So triple arty build with a fighter. Even puts the arty in the face of his battleship. So now the battleship has to be like, do I shoot at the artillery? Do I move away? What do I do? And what does PAchen do? who would you rather be right now? It's crazy because in the last one it was like 250,000 unit value for PAchen and 210 for Plague. Now it's like 250 for Plague, 180 for PAchen. Oof. So let's see. Battleship by PAchen is gonna take out that artillery. Gonna take that out. Gonna take the copter out. Boom, boom. Ooh, gonna actually take out the land there. Okay, interesting. Still in range of these two artillery, so that mega tank is gonna get rocked by these two artilleries. Ooh, okay, puts the fighter on the port so that nothing gets built here. Really respecting that port from Plague, not really allowing any battleship being built here because that would totally shut down the 2-base area from PAchen. I guess we could get into a stage where PAchen could just have like rockets or stuff like that over here pointing at these bases so that they don't get captured. Like, I don't know, you have a rocket over here. Not even a battleship could reach a 246, something like that. I don't know. You kind of point at your own bases so that they're not flipped, and then we have that huge stare down. But I think it would still be losing. I think PAchen still wants to rush this area as he's trying to bring these artilleries. It's crazy that the fact that Plague hasn't gone for these pipe seams might be even helping him, because if these were open, then PAchen could start attacking the 2-base, draining resources from Plague instead of it being all being put over here. Yeah, we got this lander loaded up. We got a carrier now, so PAchen's gonna go for the same approach over here. Get that nice carrier battleship combo to lock down this whole area. Try to take out Plague's airport. We might get to a stage that neither of them have airports, and there's just port units and land units and whatever existing still alive air units there are. And this Plague is going to use the power. I'm going to use 2 shots on that mega tank. I'll leave it at 5. And ooh, fighter's going to have 1 shot. Wow, that's pretty insane. 1 shots that fighter, and then 1 shots the battleship with the bomber. And that means that the bomber is outside of range of the carrier. I'm gonna even put that fighter there. I'm not sure why. I was thinking maybe to like block it in, but I guess you could put it right here, right? And then it doesn't move. But I don't know. He puts it on that shoal for some reason. I'm gonna get these captures. They're both at equal income, I think. No, they're not. For some reason, they're not. Oh, I think it's because PAchen has this city, yeah. And just gonna circle around over here. Doesn't really have anything to shoot. I think this carrier could move over here, and then you're locking, like you're still locking the airport, and then you're shooing away the fighter. So we'll see what he decides to do. Is he not gonna move it? What? Why are you not moving it over here? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't see any setback from putting the carrier over here. You're still locking the airport and then you're freeing up your port. But even then, PAchen decides to tap out and resign. Oof. What was this match? This map is pretty wild. I think most matches that I've seen on this map have gone into some wild stage like this. Even after flipping the 1 base, you still have this whole pressure in the middle. I think that the dynamic between the port and the airport, whole thing was pretty fun. And Plague was able to get the better end of that, just being 1 step ahead, getting the build, get the cruiser first, get the carrier, get the battleship, get all that nice chain going so that the airport falls. And then all those air units were used over here. I thought that was super interesting. And I think it's very, very funny that probably the fact that Plague went for GRIMM was to break the seams faster. That was like the only thing that he had going for him. But he didn't even use it. Not even once did he shoot at these pipe seams. Not even with infantry. These are at full health. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this match. Actually, I'm hosting a tournament over these next like 2 months. It's called APC, Anonymous Player Cup. There's gonna be 12 players. top players playing in live standard. They're gonna be playing in like a group stage, in a qualifier kind of stage. Actually, Days of Plague is one of the 12 players. They're gonna be playing best of 3 sets against other players in their group. The top 8 from here are gonna move on to the main event. That's gonna have this gimmick of secret identities. So we're gonna give them new secret identities, so we will know who the 8 players, are that make it there. But once they're there, we won't know who is who. They won't know who is who. So it's gonna be a lot of fun try to guess, that who is who and who's playing against. You don't know if Poland is playing against you. You don't know if Starflash is playing against you. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, thank you for watching.